Amityville Horror, the true story of a haunted house nightmare. Imagine moving into your dream home, a sprawling Dutch colonial on a quiet suburban street, with a boathouse and a view of the river. It's everything you've ever wanted, except for one chilling detail. A year earlier, 6 people were murdered in that house, shot dead in their beds by one of their own. In December 1975, the Lutz family took that gamble, moving into 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. What followed was 28 days of terror, a paranormal nightmare that drove them out and sparked one of the most infamous haunted house stories in history. This is the Amityville Horror, a true story that blends true crime with the supernatural, a tale that's haunted millions through books, movies, and endless debates. Was it a demonic force, a hoax, or something in between? Welcome to a journey into the heart of darkness, where the walls whisper and the truth is as elusive as the shadows. Settle in, because we're stepping into the Amityville Horror, a paranormal enigma that will leave you questioning what lurks in the places we call home. This isn't just a ghost story, it's a saga of fear, trauma, and mystery that grips you like a cold hand in the night. For every eerie detail we uncover, the line between fact and fiction blurs, pulling us deeper into a true crime puzzle with supernatural stakes. Did the Lutz family face a demonic entity, or was their ordeal something more human? As we unravel this haunted house legend, I'll take you through the chilling events of those 28 days, the gruesome murders that set the stage, and the theories that keep this story alive. So, let's walk through the doors of 112 Ocean Avenue and face the Amityville Horror, where the past bleeds into the present and the supernatural feels all too real. The Amityville Horror begins with a real-life tragedy, a true crime case that shocked Long Island. On November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr., a 23-year-old from a troubled but affluent family, murdered 6 of his relatives in their Amityville home at 112 Ocean Avenue. Using a .35 Marlin rifle, he shot his parents, Ronald Sr. and Louise, and 4 siblings, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John, in their beds around 3 a.m. The killings were methodical, each victim face down, as if asleep. DeFeo initially claimed a mob hitman was responsible, but he confessed the next day, saying voices urged him to kill. At trial, he pleaded insanity, blaming demonic influences, but prosecutors argued it was a calculated act, possibly over family disputes or inheritance. In 1975, DeFeo was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, where he died in 2021. The murders were horrific, but they were only the prelude to the paranormal terror that would define Amityville. Enter the Lutz family: George, a 28-year-old land surveyor, and Kathy, 30, a homemaker, with Kathy's 3 children from a previous marriage, Daniel, 9, Christopher, 7, and Melissa, 5. In December 1975, the Lutzes saw 112 Ocean Avenue listed for $80,000, a bargain for a 5-bedroom house with a pool and boathouse. The DeFeo murders were disclosed, but George, a pragmatic man, brushed it off, saying, "Houses don't have memories." They bought the house, moving in on December 18th after a priest blessed it, though the priest later claimed he heard a voice snarl, "Get out." The Lutzes planned to start fresh, but from day one, the house felt wrong. Cold spots, chilled rooms despite a roaring furnace. Strange odors like rotting flesh or cheap perfume wafted through the air. George woke nightly at 3:15 a.m., the exact time of the murders, gripped by an urge to check the boathouse. The family's dog cowered, refusing to enter certain rooms. This was no ordinary home, it was a haunted house, and the Amityville Horror was just beginning. Over 28 days, the disturbances escalated into a supernatural nightmare. Kathy felt invisible hands touch her, once waking to red welts on her body. The children saw shadowy figures in their rooms, describing a pig-like creature with glowing red eyes, nicknamed Jody, who spoke to Melissa. Windows slammed shut on their own, and black ooze seeped from walls and toilets. George, once skeptical, saw doors rip off hinges and heard footsteps marching in the attic. The family's behavior changed. George became irritable, obsessed with stoking the fireplace, while Kathy grew withdrawn. The kids fought constantly, and their school performance tanked. Green slime coated walls, defying cleaning, and swarms of flies plagued the house in winter. One night, Kathy claimed she levitated off her bed, while George saw her transform into a withered hag, a vision that vanished seconds later. By January 14th, 1976, the Lutzes fled, leaving most possessions behind, never to return. They claimed a demonic force drove them out, cementing 112 Ocean Avenue as America's most infamous haunted house. The Lutzes' story exploded with the 1977 book The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson, a bestseller that sold over 6 million copies. The 1979 film, starring James Brolin and Margot Kidder, grossed $86 million, spawning sequels and remakes. The tale of a family terrorized by supernatural evil, tied to a real murder case, captivated the public, especially young fans of horror and true crime. But was it a true story? The Lutzes stood by their account, passing polygraphs and insisting the terror was real. They described paranormal events too vivid to fake. A lion statue moving on its own, a garage door opening and closing unaided, and a child's imaginary friend, Jody, who seemed all too real. George claimed the house was built on a Shinnecock burial ground, cursed by a 17th-century sorcerer named John Ketchum, though historians found no evidence of either. A priest, Father Ralph Pecoraro, backed their story, saying he experienced disturbances during the blessing, though he later downplayed his role. Skeptics, however, smelled a hoax. William Weber, DeFeo's defense attorney, claimed he and the Lutzes fabricated the story over wine, hoping to profit and help DeFeo's appeal by linking the murders to demonic forces. The Lutzes denied this, but inconsistencies emerged. The slime, flies, and levitation lacked physical evidence. Police and subsequent owners, like James and Barbara Cromarty, who lived there from 1977 to 1987, reported no paranormal activity, calling the house peaceful. The Shinnecock tribe dismissed burial ground claims, and Ketchum was a myth. Financial motives loomed. George faced tax debts, and the book deal netted the Lutzes $300,000. Critics noted the story echoed horror tropes, like The Exorcist, popular in the 1970s. Yet the Lutzes never recanted. Even as lawsuits flew, Weber sued for profits, Anson sued for defamation, and the Lutzes sued skeptics for invasion of privacy. Paranormal investigators are divided. Ed and Lorraine Warren, famed for the Conjuring cases, visited in 1976, claiming the house was infested with demonic entities tied to the murders and Native American spirits. Their seance photos showed a ghostly boy, though skeptics called it a hoax. Other researchers, like Hans Halser, sensed a malevolent presence, while the American Society for Psychical Research found no conclusive evidence. The house's history offers clues. DeFeo's voices mirror the Lutzes' claims, hinting at a lingering evil. Yet psychological factors, stress, suggestibility, or carbon monoxide poisoning could explain the Lutzes' experiences. The murder's trauma, combined with a creaky old house, might have fueled their fear, turning shadows into demons. The true crime angle deepens the mystery. DeFeo's trial raised questions about his sanity. He claimed a demon possessed him, a story echoed by the Lutz's priest, who said a demonic voice taunted him. DeFeo's sister, Dawn, was rumored to have been involved, though evidence pointed solely to Ronald. His inconsistent stories blaming a hitman, then voices muddled the case. Some theorized the house amplified negative energy from the killings, a paranormal echo that tormented the Lutzes. Others argue the family's imagination, fueled by the murder's infamy, created a self-fulfilling horror. The lack of physical evidence, no slime samples, no fly swarms, and police reports tilts toward skepticism, but the Lutz's raw fear, captured in interviews, feels undeniable. Subsequent owners faced no terror, but visitors report unease. The Cromartys found fame a nuisance, with gawkers and pranksters plaguing the property. Later residents, like David D'Antonio in 2010, called it a normal home, though he noted odd vibes in the basement. The house, renovated with new windows to shed its evil eyes look, sold in 2017 for $605,000, far below market value, hinting at its stigma. Paranormal tourism thrives, with Amityville hosting ghost tours, though the house remains private. Documentaries like Amityville, An Origin Story, 2023, explore the cultural impact, while true crime podcasts dissect the murders and hauntings, keeping the story alive for fans of BuzzFeed Unsolved and Unsolved Mysteries. What really happened at 112 Ocean Avenue? The scientific view leans toward a hoax or psychological phenomenon. The Lutz's financial woes, Weber's claims, and the lack of corroborating evidence suggest a fabricated tale amplified by a horror-hungry public. Yet the paranormal view persists. The Warrens' findings, the priest's account, and the DeFeo Lutz parallels hint at something supernatural, a haunted house where evil lingers. A middle ground suggests the Lutzes experienced real fear, whether from a demonic force, their minds, or the house's grim history. The Amityville horror is a true story in the sense that the Lutzes believed it, their terror shaping a legend that transcends fact. Why does Amityville endure? It's more than a haunted house, it's a mirror for our fears of home, family, and the unknown. The idea that a dream home can turn malevolent resonates with young listeners, scrolling Reddit or binging true crime. The DeFeo murders ground the story in real horror, while the supernatural hooks us with its mystery. It's a perfect blend of true crime and paranormal, a case that invites debate. Was it demons or dollars? The house still stands, its secrets locked in its walls, daring us to decide. So what do you make of the Amityville horror? Was 112 Ocean Avenue a haunted house infested with demonic forces, or was it a clever hoax born of murder and greed? Did the Lutz family face a true supernatural terror, or were they victims of their own fears, amplified by a blood-soaked past? This true story, a paranormal enigma tied to a chilling true crime case, remains one of history's most haunting tales. It's a reminder that sometimes the scariest monsters hide not in the shadows, but in the places we call home. I want to hear your theories. Drop them in the comments. What do you believe happened to the Lutzes? Do you lean toward demons, deception, or something else? Have you heard a detail or story I missed? If you're hooked on haunted houses, paranormal mysteries, and true crime like I am, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got more chilling tales coming, stories of hauntings, vanishings, and enigmas that will keep you up at night. If you enjoyed this dive into the Amityville horror, give it a like and share it with a friend who loves a good true crime puzzle. Until next time, keep your doors locked and your lights on, because in Amityville, the shadows have stories to tell. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown.